NASA just released new footage from Mars. Millions saw it, but almost everyone missed this one strange detail hiding in plain sight. Because what you're about to see wasn't supposed to be there. When NASA uploads new Mars images, most people scroll past. Another rock, another landscape, another dusty horizon. But scientists don't scroll, they zoom in. And in this footage from Perseverance rover, they noticed something that immediately raised questions. Not because it looks dramatic, but because it looks out of place. Mars is predictable in one way. Its rocks usually follow patterns shaped by wind, dust, and time. But this object didn't follow those rules. Perseverance captured it during a routine scan of the Martian surface. No special mission, no announcement, just another image in a massive data upload. Yet when researchers looked closer, they paused. Because the shape, the layering, and its position didn't match the surrounding terrain. Mars is ancient, but it is also extremely consistent. So when something breaks that consistency, scientists pay attention. This footage comes from Jezero Crater, a place we already know once held water. Billions of years ago, this crater was a lake. Water flowed in, sediments settled, minerals formed. And where water exists, complex structures can form. That's why Perseverance is here. Its mission is simple but powerful. Search for signs that Mars was once alive. Not fossils of creatures, but traces of environments that could support life. And that's where this footage becomes important. Because the object seen here appears partially embedded in sediment layers. It isn't sitting on the surface, it looks like it's been there for a very long time. That alone makes it different. Mars dust moves easily, wind reshapes the landscape constantly. Loose objects don't stay exposed like this for long. So how did this one survive? Even more interesting, the surrounding rocks don't look the same. They're smoother, more eroded. This one appears more structured. Some researchers noticed repeating patterns, subtle but visible, and patterns are rare on Mars. Of course, the first explanation is always geology. Nature can create incredible illusions. On Earth, we see rocks shaped like faces, animals, even tools. It's called pareidolia, the brain trying to recognize familiar shapes. NASA knows this well. That's why no conclusions were announced. But instead of dismissing it, they captured more images, different angles, different lighting, different times of day. And the object kept looking unusual. If it were a trick of light, it would disappear under new conditions, but it didn't. So scientists asked a more careful question. Not what is this, but how did this form? Mars doesn't have plate tectonics like Earth. It doesn't recycle its crust. That means its surface is a frozen record of history. Every layer tells a story, and this object appears to be part of that story. One theory suggests it may be a sedimentary formation. On Earth, sedimentary rocks can form layered structures when minerals accumulate in water over long periods. Sometimes these layers create shapes that look almost artificial. Even more intriguing, similar structures on Earth are sometimes linked to microbial activity. Not organisms themselves, but the environments they leave behind. That doesn't mean life existed here, but it does mean conditions were once right. NASA remains cautious for a reason. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So instead of speculation, Perseverance did something smarter. It moved closer. Using its high-resolution cameras, the rover scanned the object's texture. Microscopic details matter: grain size, fracture patterns, mineral distribution. These details tell scientists whether something formed slowly or violently. So far, the data suggests slow formation: time, water, stability. 3 things Mars no longer has. Another detail few noticed: the object appears slightly elevated compared to the surrounding layer.
That suggests erosion happened around it, not to it, meaning it may be harder or chemically different. That alone makes it worth studying. NASA classified it carefully, an unusual geological feature. That phrase might sound boring, but in planetary science, it's powerful. It means we don't see this often. Perseverance didn't stop there. It collected nearby samples, not from the object itself yet, but from the sediment around it. Why? Because context matters. You can't understand a chapter without reading the pages around it. These samples will eventually return to Earth through future missions, and when they do, we'll be able to analyze them with tools far beyond what a rover can carry. Until then, Mars keeps its secrets. But moments like this remind us why exploration matters, not because we expect aliens, but because Mars keeps challenging what we think we know. Every time we believe we understand its past, something like this appears, quiet, unannounced, easy to miss. And that's the real mystery. How many details like this are hiding in NASA's footage right now, waiting for someone to notice, waiting for the right question? Mars doesn't reveal its history all at once. It whispers, through rocks, through layers, through strange objects in ordinary images, and Perseverance is listening. This rover will continue exploring Jezero Crater, continue drilling, continue sending back data, and with every upload, there's a chance something else will stand out, something else we weren't meant to notice but can't ignore once we do. Because the biggest discoveries on Mars aren't always announced. Sometimes they're hidden in plain sight. If you want to keep uncovering what others miss on Mars, make sure you're subscribed to Hidden Mars. We break down NASA's latest footage, highlight the details most people miss, and follow every new discovery from the Red Planet. Because on Mars, the biggest secrets are never obvious.